Worst NHL GMs, Brad Treveling. Brad Treveling was named GM of the Calgary Flames on April 28, 2014, and remained the team's GM until April 17, 2023, when he and the team mutually agreed to part ways. During his tenure as GM, the Calgary Flames had some regular season success, but lacked postseason success. His bad trades and lack of draft capital led to his downfall. Here are the worst moves made by Brad Treveling as GM of the Calgary Flames. Here are his worst trades: acquiring Brandon Bollig from the Chicago Blackhawks for a third-round pick in 2014, acquiring Brian Elliott from the St. Louis Blues for a 2016 second-round pick and a conditional third-round pick in 2018, acquiring Curtis Lazar and Mike Costa from the Ottawa Senators for Jyrki Jokipa and a second-round pick in 2017, acquiring Tyler Toffoli from the Montreal Canadiens for Tyler Pitlick, Emil Heineman, a first-round pick in 2022 and a fifth-round pick in 2025, acquiring Calle Jarnkrok from the Seattle Kraken for a second-round pick in 2022, a third-round pick in 2023, and a fourth-round pick in 2024. Trading Matthew Tkachuk and a fourth-round pick in 2025 to the Florida Panthers for Jonathan Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar, Cole Schwindt, and a conditional first-round pick in 2025. Trading Sean Monahan and a conditional first-round pick in 2025 to the Montreal Canadiens for future consideration. Here are his draft mistakes from 2014 to 2020. In the 2014 draft, the Calgary Flames selected Sam Bennett over William Nylander, Mason McDonald over Christian Dvorak, Hunter Smith over Brandon Montour, Brandon Hickey over Igor Shesterkin, Adam Olis-Madsen over Sammy Blais, and Austin Carroll over Pierre Engvall. In the 2016 draft, the Calgary Flames drafted Tyler Parsons over Carl Grundstrom, Mitchell Matson over Jesper Bratt, Eetu Tumala over Brandon Hagel, and Matthew Phillips over Vincent Desharnais. In the 2017 draft, the Calgary Flames drafted Juuso Valimaki over Josh Norris and Zach Fisher over Carson Meyer. In the 2018 draft, the Calgary Flames draft Curtis Douglas over Paul Cotter and Milos Roman over Akira Schmid. In the 2019 draft, the Calgary Flames draft Jacob Pelletier over Shane Pinto, Ilya Nikolaev over Alexei Protas, Lucas Fug over Elmer Soderblom, and Joshua Nodler over Raphael Harvey Pinard. In the 2020 draft, the Calgary Flames draft Connor Zary over Ridley Gregg, Daniil Chenchalov over Sean Farrell, Ryan Francis over William Dufour, and Rory Kierans over Devon Levi. Additional draft picks are used to select Devon Taves, Jordan Kyrou, Mario Ferraro, Brad Lambert, and Lane Hudson. These are the worst signings by the Calgary Flames. Jonathan Huberdeau to an 8-year deal worth $10.5 million per season, Nazem Kadri to a 7-year deal worth $7 million per season, Mackenzie Weegar to an 8-year deal worth $6.25 million per season, Jacob Markstrom to a 6-year deal worth $6 million per season, Andrew Mangiapane to a 3-year deal worth $5.8 million per season, and Blake Coleman to a 5-year deal worth $4.9 million per season. The Calgary Flames made a huge mistake back in 2019 when they opted to re-sign Matthew Tkachuk to a bridge 3-year deal rather than locking him up for 8 years. If Calgary had locked up Tkachuk long-term, they would not have been forced to deal him away in the 2022 offseason. In the 2021 expansion draft, Calgary chose to leave Captain Mark Giordano unprotected, which did not sit right for Calgary fans. Making a move like this could send a wrong message to players like Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk, who were both free agents the following year. The 2022 offseason was a disaster for the Calgary Flames, and it ultimately cost Brad Treveling his job. Johnny Gaudreau left in free agency, and Matthew Tkachuk demanded a trade out of town, which meant the two best players from the previous season would no longer be on the team. Immediately after the trade went down, Huberdeau, Tkachuk, and Weegar all signed extensions with their respective teams. With Matthew Tkachuk leading the way in scoring, Florida Panthers have made it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. On the other hand, both Huberdeau and Weegar had disappointing years, and if they don't play better next year, they'll be on untradeable contracts for a long time. Looking back at Brad Treveling's tenure as Calgary Flames GM, one word can describe it: disappointing.